All right, guys, so to kick off the benchmarks, we got a pretty demanding title. So this is Sons of the Forest, and we're currently running pretty much max settings. I'm doing 1080p for this test, and we're on ultra settings with FSR 3.0 set to balanced. Here's some of the other settings you guys can see. Very demanding title, very pretty looking game though, I will say. And as you guys can see, even though we got these really nice environmental details, really good looking rain, getting over 100 FPS. I've told people this before, and I'll keep saying it until it doesn't work anymore, but the 7600 combo is one of the best combos out there. And as you guys can see, we're able to get, 100 plus FPS at 1080p even on these AAAs, and then even switching over to something like 1440p, we can still get really high FPS, especially with the help of something like FSR. Even moving, generating new terrain, we're still getting pretty close to 100 FPS. I did go ahead and enable XMP, go ahead and make sure it's stable. That is something that I often tell people, if it's not stable, just don't use it. It's not a big deal, just because you're not getting 6000 megahertz or whatever your RAM's rated for, it really doesn't change performance much in most games. You're talking maybe a few FPS. It looks like the 6000 megahertz so far is stable, so that's what we're running. I adjusted the fan curves as well, so the build is running nice and good. The only real complaint so far I have is the 7600, this one. I got a little bit of coil whine when we get into higher FPS, but it's hardly noticeable, and it happens. It can happen on the lowest end of cards, it can happen on 4090s and 7900 XTXs. We've had it happen on all of them. I think this is pretty safe to say. AAA like this, or AAA graphics wise, looking really good. Let's go ahead and switch up games. Alright guys, we are now playing Apex Legends. We're currently running max FOV at 1080p, and we're pretty much running like very high settings. I don't think we're gonna have a problem maintaining 144 FPS, which actually is the in-game cap unless you unlock it. We're gonna go ahead and give this a go, but I mean, yeah, we're utilizing everything really well. As you all can see, we're using about 10.5 gigs of RAM, so we have like plenty of RAM to work with here. And then we even have a little bit of extra headroom. We have a lot of extra headroom on the Ryzen processor. And then we're utilizing our 7600 up to about 80%. So we're really not even, this game's not even utilizing all of the hardware, which is pretty crazy, but we're still maintaining, 144 FPS. For anyone worried about the high refresh experience, it's definitely getting it. All right, well, that was Apex Legends. Let's go on to another game. All right, guys, it's been a while, but we're playing some Halo Infinite. This is actually a map I don't believe I've ever seen before. We're just doing quick play, but we're max FOV. We're running high setting preset. This game doesn't really have any upscaling or anything to my knowledge. So just the high preset, max FOV, 1080p, and hey, check it out. AAA title, we're getting over 100 FPS. Pretty close to high refresh rate as well. I'm sure if we ran like medium or even low settings, we could definitely manage that. So it's like some type of weird capture the flag mode or something. A very tight capture the flag. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, yeah, it's looking really good. This is definitely a hard game to run. It's fairly optimized because you can play this on lower end systems, but it definitely pushes the envelope when it comes to high graphic settings games. I cannot hit my shot. No. Oh my gosh. Oh, I started off with my first snipe pretty good, and then it just fell apart from there. Oh, we have their flag. Oh, that's easy enough, unless I get sniped in the back of the head. What the heck is that? Oh, it's like a little generator or something for health. That's really cool. This is like OG Halo 3. I remember these. Heal. It's like a different assault rifle. It feels different than normal. Ooh, is that a skewer? Oh, I love this thing. It feels so good to hit a shot with it, but it's so hard to hit a shot with it. Yeah, this is a really odd fight here. Like this whole mode, I mean, it's just strange, but it's cool. I don't understand like what this thing even does. Every time I ever have this gun, I just instantly drop it because I'm like, I don't get it. Now this thing's pretty good. This is like a little incendiary kind of gun. Someone just flew over my head. And there we go, won the game. So hey, high settings Halo, no problems at all. I got one more game to test. Alright guys, we're now playing the finals. We're currently in 1920 by 1080p. We actually have some ray tracing on in this title, which is pretty cool for an AMD card. We're going to be running FSR 2 set to balanced. So high settings, balanced FSR for upscaling, and we are running some ray tracing at medium. See what this thing can do. Alright, so we just got in the game. We're using 18 gigs of RAM right now, which this game is pretty RAM hungry. Maybe the upscaling has something to do with it as well. We're using 97% of our GPU too, so this is a utilizing game right here, but hey, 130 plus FPS, or at least around 130 it looks like most of the time, and it looks really good. So it's just like a one-hit kill kind of deal. I have not played this snowball mode. Oh, they just threw a present at me. I gotta say, this is kind of hard. Ooh! Maybe an 8. Maybe an 8. Yeah, temps are looking pretty good. I forgot to put the GPU on, it looks like, as far as temp goes, but I would assume we're probably in like the low 70s, if I had to guess. I don't hear the fans going crazy or anything, and that's with the side panels and everything on. I got the fan curves set really well to where they're honestly pretty much silent the whole time. I have it to where only if the CPU reaches like 90C will the fans hit 100%. Just because, you know, these Ryzen systems and with especially the RX cards when they're brand new, they're just very power efficient. They're not super loud, and honestly, they don't need a whole lot of cooling. Yeah, well, I feel like I'm pretty satisfied. I mean, we're getting over 120, 130 FPS in the finals at like really high settings with ray tracing even. I know if we wanted a higher refresh rate, we could just lower the settings some, maybe take ray tracing off. We can turn FSR to performance mode, and I would bet we could get 165 FPS or plus. But at this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap it up with 3D Mark Time Spy so we can get a cent per point score, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up this video. All right, guys, we got done benchmarking this PC, and it did really good. I always tell people the 7600 combo is definitely a dream combo for 1080p and even some 1440p. And for that 3D Mark Time Spy score that we always do on the main channel, we got a score of 10,615, which ends up being about an 8 cent per point, which is pretty reasonable, especially since we had some extra bling on this, like the tower cooler.
See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Peace out.